Beer on the Run podcast.
Beer on the Run podcast.
This is what you need. You don't even know you need it, but you need it. Trust
you need this in your life.
This in your life.
Thursday is Sloppy Moose.
Strange. Okay. All right.
So we have a slushy machine and we make fireball slushy.
Let's talk about tacos.
I say, who is Ted Danson to Ted Danson?
I could do a naked beer mile.
I really enjoy doing this.
So, Crista, thank you for coming on. So, Clint and I know the Dirtbag Runners very well. We've been around since the beginning. I remember slinging hats at Red Rock in 2014 from that bench. Tell us about the origins of Dirtbag Runners.
Yeah. It all kind of started when I was in the middle of getting my master's degree in psychology and realized I didn't want to be a therapist. And there wasn't a dying desire for more professors. And so I kind of felt like I need to reevaluate my life and where I'm going. And so after I graduated, I had some time to figure out what I wanted to do. And so, I had been spending a lot of time with the All We Do Is Run family, Luis Escobar's tribe in Santa Barbara. And Kat Bradley is one of my best friends, and we had been spending a lot of time together. And so she had a race in Colorado and was like, let's go, let's, drive the car and let's go on a big road trip. And so we went on this long road trip, and that kind of was the beginning stages of understanding minimalism and kind of the dirtbag lifestyle.
Can I pause you for just a second?
Mm-hmm.
So for our listeners that don't know Kat Bradley, this is 2017 Western States 100 female champion Kat Bradley, part of the family.
This was when she had just graduated from college. She was not known in the ultra running community at all. And yeah, we both were just kind of new to the sport, but very excited about it. And so we went on our road trip, and we kind of went all over the Western United States, visiting different national parks and doing different races, crewing for races, and just kind of eat, sleep, and breathe the dirtbag life. And the term really was coined by Luis Escobar at Western States. And I remember the moment specifically. Me and Tyler Clemens and Patrick Sweeney were sitting in the back of Tyler's truck drinking beer, but trying to do it incognito because we were in a neighborhood around the corner from the finish line of Western States. I forget who we were crewing at the time. I think it was Jess Soko. But we were trying to hide our beers, underneath the side of the truck. And Lewis just happened to be walking by, and we pop up our heads, we see him because he's our dirtbag dad. And he was like, "What are you guys doing?" We're like, "Drinking beer." And he was like, "You guys are just a bunch of dirtbags." And he just kept on walking by. And for whatever reason, that term stuck in my head. And I think it was either driving at some point with Tyler, on the way back, I was like, we should start a thing called Dirtbag Runners. Let's create a blog. Let's just share our stories. And to be honest, the whole reason that I started it was because I knew that Kat was going to be doing amazing things, and she had so much potential, and she had really funny stories, the funniest dirtbag stories you could ever imagine. And I knew she's not tech savvy. And so I was like, if I create a blog, I can convince her to share her writing, because she's a fantastic writer. And it'll be a collection, a blog for all of us, our little dirtbag tribe from Santa Barbara. And so I've been designing graphics and, websites since I can remember. And so I just did it for shits and giggles and designed a logo for fun. And at some point I had talked to Tyler, and I was like, so get this, if we buy 25 hats and sell 12 of them, we can give the other 12 away for free to our friends. This was my scheme for just getting a bunch of hats made. And so we did that, and we took the hats to Red Rock, and we sold all the ones that we needed to. And then a bunch of people kept on messaging me for like weeks after, like, hey, do you have any more hats? And I was like, sure. Clint being one of them, I'm pretty sure. I think you probably got one of the originals. I think both of you did. And so I realized then, after I had like sold another batch of hats, that I accidentally started a business. And I'll never forget sitting in Tyler's living room, boxing hats and writing people's addresses like by hand on the side of the package, and then taking them to the post office and having the poor clerk at the post office individually. And like, I did this several times, and each time they're like, you could do this online, right? Like you could just like get a USPS account and print the labels at home. And I was like, yeah, that's too much effort. Like I thought it was like harder. Little did I know it was making my life miserable doing that. But that's the, I guess, not so long story of how I ended up starting a business called Dirtbag Runners. And it's grown so much over the last, I think it's been 6 years, I forget. I'm looking down because my dog is desperately trying to get my attention, and I'm going to show her because she's the little dirtbag dog.
Penny.
Yeah.
Hey, Penny. Oh.
I wanted to say hi. I hear her jingling at my feet, so I'm just like super distracted.
I'm trying to remember the timeline because in my mind, all these dates just get like blended together. I want to say Red Rock 2014. It might have been Red Rock 2013 was the when we were all selling the original stock of hats.
It was 2014, and I've actually forgotten several times. I'm like, was it 2015, 2014? Like, how many years has it been? It's so hard for me to keep track. But yeah, it was Red Rock 2014. So it's been, it'll be 7 years.
And right at the same time was the first time we met in person, and we were in the South Bay. I'm trying to remember the name of the run, through the Redwoods, and Crista Cavender introduced us to each other because you happened to be there and I was there, and 2014 also. So
time flies.
And some
also,
of us.
This beer is pretty good.
So in 2000,
spicy? Hold on. Let's go back to the beer.
Let's go back to the beer.
Spicy?
In my Bigfoot 200 mug. I didn't run this race.
Candace. Crista volunteers at Candace's 200s for like 4 days. Like we all volunteer for 4 hours, and Crista does 4 days at Candace's runs. But anyhow, so the jalapeno beer, is it spicy? Like, do you get the jalapeno?
No, it's not spicy at all. It just tastes like jalapenos, which is a really confusing thing.
So it's like barbecue and jalapeno. You get all the flavor, but you don't get the spice.
Correct. I think I'm going to try the next one in honor of Dachshunds. This is it's called Wiener Smash. Here I go. Ooh. I'm not going to be fancy with this one.
We could have gone a whole lot longer. And
we do get that magic again. It happens every year. The third weekend of May?
Because you have a bachelor's in toxicology?
Yeah, I do. Bachelor of Science.
And you're having a beer after a run. So please tell us that a beer is good for you after a strenuous workout.
It is.
Yeah, around this time last year, I had finally almost achieved beer running group Nirvana.
The first thing out of my mouth was, how do I quit smoking? And do you think I can run 50 miles?
I'm taking on my science and nutrition and biochem courses, and I learned about how good the alcohol in moderation is for musculoskeletal health. I'm loving the science behind beer, behind alcohol. And so I started drinking daily, a beer with dinner because I knew it was healthy.
Yeah, when the foam is just cresting over the lip of the can and those lids are just coming down like boom, boom, it's beautiful.
Nailed it.